always do that. My name is Susie Hansen, and I'm the MLA for Halifax. And friends, family, and community, we are gathered here tonight to announce our candidate for the upcoming Preston by-election. And this is the official kickoff to our campaign. The land that we stand on here today. And we've been asked that each member take time to recognize the traditional and treaty territory of the Mi'kmaq. To recognize the land is an expression of gratitude and appreciation to those whose territory we reside on, and a way of honoring the Indigenous people who have been living on and caring for these lands since time immemorial. So we have all been privileged to build a life here in Mi'kmaq, the ancestral and unceded land of the Mi'kmaq people, a territory governed by the peace and friendship treaties. We believe that it is important to name that this land is also known by many to be the birthplace of Black heritage and culture, in what is known as Canada, the place in where we live. Following the forcible displacement and enslavement of people of African descent, we have over 2,000 people in Nova Scotia who identify as being part of the African Nova Scotian community. This seat, the Preston seat, is the only seat in Nova Scotia where the boundaries are drawn in such a way as to give African Nova Scotian and Black voters an increased likelihood of electing someone from our community to represent our communities. So before we get into some of the speeches that are happening, I'd also like to recognize those folks in the room. And if I'm missing anyone, please stand and acknowledge yourself. We have former MLA Leonard Prez, former NDP MP Wendy Lill. We also have the leader of the Nova Scotia NDP, Claudia Chender. We have MLA Gary Burrell, MLA Susan LeBlanc, and MLA Lisa Lachance. So, if there's anyone that I've missed, we are so grateful to have you here today with us, and as well to celebrate this wonderful event. So to start us off tonight, I'd like to invite my friend and brilliant young leader from the East Preston community to speak, Nicole Johnson.
Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here and most of all for being present, for showing up for what is going to be a momentous time going forward. And we're really excited. We're excited because one of our own, well, a few of them, but one of our own today we're acknowledging. And very proud of him and very proud of this moment because it's change. And change doesn't come easy, but it's worth it. So I just wanted to give a few words and very honored to have this task before me. My name is Nicole Johnson. I'm a daughter of the village of the Preston Township. Very proud of that, of both East, North, and Cherrybrook. Roots are very grounded here for us, so very proud of that. Like Susie said, this is an exciting time. Like the energy in this room, and then seeing everybody show up and be a part of this and come from across the pond and come from up the hill and come from down the street and be here for Colter, that's awesome. This is about success and change. And success this doesn't happen without hard work. And hard work produces great results. So we want that change. We want to see that change, correct? Yeah. We do. So that only happens when there's many hands making light work. CC is stepping up to the plate, absolutely. But it's not just about CC. It's about the community that's behind him. And we want to see ourselves reflected in those rooms, making those changes, hearing our voice, our way. And yes, he's got a lot to learn. He's not a politician at heart, but we're getting ready for the job. He's stepping up, so we're getting ready. So I just wanted to, again, say to people, thank you for coming and showing up. And if there's any way that you can help, whether it's taking a sign, putting on the lawn, or whether it's leafing, whether it's canvassing, whether it's putting up the signs, we need the help. He needs the help. He can't carry this alone because this is the job he's doing. We need all of us here to do that. One other thing that I want to say is that, I go back to success. Colter and I have, I want to call him CC because that's his community name, but Colter and I had a lot of good conversations, and it only takes a few words of encouragement to help somebody know what they're stepping into and help them be confident in that. And he ran the first time, and if you didn't have a chance to vote for him the first time, this is your second time. It's not about me today, it's about the community, it's about the young man who is stepping out to do some great things and to make his mother proud.
Thank you, Nicole, for that. And it is true, stepping up, right? Because we know that in community, we need to do these things in order for us to be available and aware and representative of who we are, and that people can see that this is who we represent, and we speak volumes in that. So I want to say thank you again for that. I also want to recognize, I just seen someone walk in the door, Miss Shelley Fashion as well, who is a former NDP candidate. I want to thank you for your support. I would be remiss if I didn't recognize someone who we all know province-wide for her trailblazing life, fighting for workers, African Nova Scotians, and the people of Preston. The former NDP MLA for Preston, the first African Nova Scotian woman ever elected to Nova Scotia Legislature, Mrs. Yvonne Atwell. I say this because, Miss Yvonne Atwell is one of the reasons why a lot of us here are in position, because we feel that strength and we draw on that every day we're standing in legislature. So our next speaker should need no introduction. She works tirelessly every day to make life better for you and your family. And that would be the leader of the Nova Scotia NDP, Claudia Chender.
Thank you, Susie. Always need a little mic adjustment when I'm calling Susie. It is wonderful to be in the Preston riding tonight. I am thrilled to be here with you all, friends, community members, elders, children. As Susie said, my name is Claudia Chender, and I'm the leader of the Nova Scotia NDP, and I am so excited to be here tonight to launch our campaign for the by-election in Preston. Now more than ever, and thank you for your words, Nicole. I think what Nicole was saying is so true. Now more than ever, we need to elect representatives that represent the communities they come from, that speak for and with the communities that they serve, and also people who are not afraid to speak up, to act up if necessary, and to challenge the status quo. And I have no doubt that CC, Colter Simmonds, my friend, is the right candidate for the job. He is a champion for change, and he will be a champion for the community as the next MLA for Preston. I have been lucky to know Colter for many years, before politics actually. As my kids have grown up and my political work has evolved, we've crossed paths at many points and in many places, and I have always been impressed by his connection to community, his commitment to change and to progress, and his kindness and care, especially with young folks, including my own kids. and youth in Preston and in the surrounding communities and right across the province, on the court and off. I've had the immense privilege this past year of meeting with a lot of folks in the Preston area. I've met with community leaders, small business owners, and many organizations that serve the communities that make up this district. And it's been a wonderful experience, and I know that Colter is also having those conversations, and that together we are so looking forward to continuing that work. There are so many communities that make up this riding, from East Dartmouth, along the Caledonia Road, through Cole Harbour, Lake Loon, Cherrybrook, East and North Preston, Lake Echo, Mineville. It's a big riding. And in lots of ways, it's actually a very diverse riding. But there are many issues that people are facing that are the same. We know that people are worried about rising costs. We know that food is getting more and more expensive. And we know that after 2 years of these costs rising in housing, at the grocery store, and everywhere else, that this government hasn't done much to help people afford the basics. As a leader who always puts community first, and who we know will continue to do that, Colter is going to fight to make sure that everyone in this community has access to healthy and affordable food through initiatives that we've been fighting for, like creating a universal school food program, making sure that small, affordable grocers can open, and with a few grocery stores in the area, removing the rules that prevent the opening of those kind of stores. We know that this is a need. We hear this everywhere we go. It's unfortunate that today in 2023, we are still dealing with so many issues that go back so many generations in Preston and right across the province, and let's call it what it is, racism. Racism and systemic racism exist in Nova Scotia. They are alive and well, and we know that, and we need to change that. As a New Democrat, I am proud of our anti-racist agenda. We are clear on that every place we go. If it's in the legislature, if it's in community, if it's at the tables where we can influence the conversation. And we know that with Colter in our caucus, we will continue to press the government to address environmental racism, uneven access to justice, housing, education, healthcare, and employment. We know that these are your issues, and you know that Colter is going to fight for them. You deserve a champion. You deserve someone that will represent Preston in the legislature. And now I know, Nicole asked, but I'm going to just say I know that you're ready to work together to ensure that we elect Colter and let him be the community champion that you all deserve.
Thank you, Claudia. I'm telling you, that's right. We need to have those voices around the table when we're having these discussions, and this is the time to do it. Let us put back CC. I call him CC because he's my friend too. But you know, and this is a wonderful time because we are here to show you that we have your back, and we will be here throughout this process. And you're right, more hands make light work, right? And that's what we want to do because we need you to be doing that work for each and every one of us. So, absolutely, it's already been said. He will be the MLA of Preston, so I just want to put that out there. Thank you, Claudia. I always feel like a power. You know, when there's a presence, you got to say those things because you got to put the word out there because you got to speak truth, right? You got to speak it out there, and that's what we're going to do today. So I'd like to invite our first nominator to speak, Robert Downey. Robert Downey is the program coordinator at the McPhee Center and a volunteer firefighter. So Robert, come on up.
Follow all that. So you know who I am. CC invited me up here to tell you guys about just my relationship with him. I guess over the course of my life, Colter has been more so like a mentor. I call him like a life coach. CC. There's a little story I have that speaks to the impact of like his words. We just finished our provincial run in high school, and I was undecided on what I was going to do with my life, with my career, and Colter was like, there's something that you have that you don't really think about. And I was like, man, what are you talking about? And CC just goes, there's potential. And shockingly enough, I just searched the word for phrases and trying to figure out, like, what did he mean by that? So I just asked him, like, what do you mean by potential? Like, there's things that you can find in yourself that you haven't looked for because all you knew was basketball at the time. So just hearing him say that has stuck with me for the my lifetime. It's like every day I just think about, like, he's always told me about potential, like just something that just lives with me. So it just pushed me to kind of like pursue different career avenues, to pursue firefighting, to raise my family, my health. I know Nicole spoke about change, and I think change is really good, but I also think change comes with the impact. And if we can say anything about Colter Simmonds, is that he has the ability to impact you as a youth and impact you as a person. So I don't really have much else to say, but you have my support. Like I said, with you as a mentor, this is a great position for you. And us as a community, we always put people in these positions, and sometimes we don't all try to tear him down, but if Cece's going to be at the forefront, we need to be at the forefront with him and walk when he walks and fall when he falls and be ready to pick him up when he's down. So that's what I like to say, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm truly touched by change, impact, and inspiration, because you're right, that is truly a definition of who CC is in community and outside of community. Thank you, Robert, for that. I'd like to also invite our second nominator to speak, Denisha Provo from Preston. Denisha is a former basketball player for the University of Utah and now runs her own basketball academy for girls. So, Denisha, come on up.
Hi, my name is Denisha Provo. I am from North Preston, of course, and I've been a basketball player for so many years. CC has impacted me in so many ways in the sense of just being a mentor and a life coach on and off the court. I left when I was 14. I went to boarding school to pursue my basketball career and education. And he was actually one of the few people that got in the car with my dad, who talked so much, and supported me. And I feel like that moment made me realize that he was there not for the basketball, but to see that I got my education, and that was the main thing. So I feel like from that very moment, he's been also a second father. I would say that in the sense of if there's anything I need, if there's someone who has my back, if I'm stranded far away and I need someone to call, I would probably count on him for anything that I have to do, and I'm thankful for that. I'm kind of emotional about it. But I feel like CC's been someone that's been there through the low times in my life with injuries, with anxiety, being down. But then also like someone that's been there for my success. And I feel like a lot of people will show their support when you're at the top, but they're not there when you're down. I tore my Achilles in 2021, 2 weeks before the Olympics, and that was very tough for me. I moved back home, and I've never been here long. I've been gone for a long time. And I had to fight with my dad. In the sense that I needed my apartment. Not because I didn't want to be here, but I didn't know how to deal with being here. And he kind of like talked to me in the sense to, you know what, just, if you need that, take your time and continue to get back on the court. Honestly, I thought that was the last of my basketball career. But he's been in my corner, checking in, calling, hey, are you okay? And I feel like from that, I actually just got back from playing 4 months in Greece, and I loved it. So I'm But I feel like if there is anyone in our community that's going to support our youth, our young people, young women, especially, young Black women especially, he's someone that you can count on. And I feel like he deserves all of our support to have change. I mean, he changed my life. Either it's for basketball, either it's for life. Someone that's always going to be there for me. So I feel like, why not? And there's a lot of, yeah, why not? I feel like there's a lot of fake love too when it comes with success. He's been loyal from day one and kind of just supported me in all aspects of life. And honestly, I don't think there's a person that I could say that's been there through the good, bad, and we don't fight. So I feel like that's another good thing. He's also made the trip to Utah to come and support me, and that meant a lot. Not many family members got to make it out, but he always made sure that he came to support me in whatever I did. And I've been to over 20 different countries, playing with the national team. I got cut at the age of 15, and then I made it at the age of 16, and he's just someone that said, keep going. Like, you're special, you're always on the court with the boys. You're gonna make it somewhere sooner or later. And I didn't really know what that meant. He also, with Robert, there was potential that he saw in me that I didn't see in myself. My dad seen it, but Cece was someone that actually really saw it and spoke to me and spoke it into existence. And without that, I don't think I would accomplish everything I have today. And that's the whole point of him also helping me start my basketball academy to help young females. Help them continue to play the sport that they love, give them the opportunity to go to university and move on. And I feel like we don't have that. So I'm also a big part of change and kind of just supporting that and supporting our youth and continuing to be that person. So at CC. So
Thank you, Danisha. And I know Cece's probably like, I don't like when people talk about me because I'm so like, but that's humble, right? Because you do the work because it's in you to do, not because you're looking for the accreditation. And that's what we want. We want someone who's about community, who's committed, who's wanting to make an impact in other people's lives. And that is exactly why I'm so grateful and so happy after all of these wonderful speeches. I have no doubt in my mind that the person that will be the next MLA for Preston will be Colter Simmonds. So this man that I'm about to introduce needs no introduction. We have heard a lot about the impact that he's made in the lives of many folks, and I know that there's way more to talk about, but I just want to be able to say that, we are so happy that you're taking that step again, and we know that you will do amazing things in the lives of others. So without further ado, let's give it up for our Preston NDP candidate, Colter Simmonds.
Oh boy. All right. God, usually when I speak, I don't need talking notes or anything because it comes from my heart, and I'm a natural speaker. But I have some today to try to keep myself on track. I don't want to be too long, but I also want to make sure that I touch on the main points to make sure that everybody leaves this room knowing that I'm the right person to be the next MLA for Preston. Pay attention a little bit to American politics and some of the nuances and stuff that they say you do, you don't do. Politicians are not supposed to cry. But I watched, and I'm going to get into this, I watched Barack Obama fight back tears his entire time as the President of the United States, until eventually it was just too much. And he finally let us see that he's not just a great person, he's actually not just a great president or politician, he's also a human being. So I'm going to get into my notes so that, like I said, I don't keep you too long. I want to thank everybody in the room for coming. I want to thank my family who showed up for me. All the friends from the community, people who are strong supporters of the party, I want to thank you for coming from near and far. Our community elders, North Preston, East Preston, Cherry Brook, Lake Echo, Woodlawn area. Without you guys, we're not here. I'm not running to try to make change. Without our seniors. I know we talked about a lot of what I'm going to do for the young people in our community, but it's so that they're able to be there to take care of our elders when they get old and while they're around them too. All right. So it means so much to me to see everybody here. Like many people that I know and many that I don't know. Over the coming weeks, I'm going to get to know those that I don't. And you get to see who I really am, the full person. All over the place because I really can't see this thing. But I'm excited. I'm calm. The only time you really see me excited is when I'm coaching. Or I'm watching my teams play and I'm in the house to myself, so you don't really get to see. If you see me watching a game outside of my house, I just sit there. Don't even know that when they're not playing well. So anyways, I'm usually pretty calm, but I am actually excited about being here because I know that I'm here. There's a reason why I'm here. And I'm going off track, but I'm going to stay on track. I never intended to run in an election from day one. Each of the parties reached out, talked to Claudia, talked to Gary, and there was something different about the NDP party. I was able to be me. When I spoke to the others, I didn't feel real. I didn't feel like I could knock on doors being myself. So I wanted to do this for real people. And that's what the NDP party represents. But again, I didn't have any intention to be a politician. But here I am again. And not only did the party believe in me, but two people who are no longer with me believed in me. I mean, they're my two biggest supporters in my whole entire life. It was my uncle, Prime Time, and my mother, Colter Simmonds. And when we heard, the night we heard that the MLA for Preston was stepping down, I'm sitting at the house with my mom. And she looks at me and she says, you gonna run again? And I said, no. I watched what I saw and I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I don't know if I have the patience to watch people in positions to make change for people who need change, not do it. I don't know if I can just be there and watch it. And she literally got mad at me. So she's she literally got mad at me, like for real. And I called Nicole and I said, do you see what's going on? And I'm like, you gotta run. But fast forward to my mom in her last days, spending every day from morning to night at the hospital with her. And my sister was there to be a witness. My brother was there. My other sister was there. And I had to, like, you know, I was asked when I'll be sure if I'm going to run again or whatnot. And I had the papers in my bag. And after I thought about it, and my mom kind of brought me to really evaluate it and figure out why I should do it, I said to her, I said, so Mom, I need you to tell me what you want me to do. I said, do you want me to run again? She looked at me. She said, no. So now for about a day and a half, I'm saying to her, like, can you be serious with me? I need to sign these papers, and there's so much other stuff. I don't want to make the same mistake twice as last time by not doing it with a time to prepare to win. And then, so my two sisters left their room one day, and it was just me and my brother in there. And I said, Mommy, why don't you want me to run? And she said, because I'm worried about you. And I'm worried that I won't be there. But, you know, that could have made me sad now, but that's what's giving me strength. Because I know my two biggest supporters. My uncle literally called everybody he knew in the community the last election, bullying them to go out and vote for me. Every other so many days he'd call and say, are you on your job? Mike, are you on your job? I said, man, I'm doing the best I can. You gotta be on your job. Like, how long were you knocking on doors today? And I would say, man, they say 11 to 7. That's like, he goes, Mike, you gotta do better than that. So, in saying that, at the end of losing the last election, and sorry for going away from these notes, I can't see them anyways. But, like, what I said was, and this was not the fact that I was running again, but it was more to say, I'm not done. Everything happens for a reason. So, through it all, I had an opportunity to sit back, learn a little bit about politics, realize that by watching Claudia, see that I can be me and be a good person and still be a politician to get things done for our community. And so, using that time, I've been, every so often, it's always there in the back of my head, but I wasn't saying I'm running. But every so often I ride around and I take my little nephew with me. And sometimes my niece and my other nephew, wherever he is, and my other two nephews, and I know their parents are like, yes, I take them because I want to go hang out with the kids and take them and do stuff. But it's taking them around the riding and praying that things can change. Everything happens for a reason. I am who I am. I'm not coaching in the NBA. I have the abilities. I know that for a fact. I'm not coaching in the NCAA because God had a different plan for me. And I know for a fact, no matter what the other two parties do and the candidates do, I wish them luck, good luck, finishing second. both that I heard of and the one that I know of are God-fearing people. And I know a lot of people are praying for them and a lot of people are praying for me. But only one God has this plan for. And everything is lining up. 2 years in, we're having a by-election. 2 years in, we're having a by-election. And I'm not going to get to the political part of it. But we still have a community that's being neglected. And somebody that will fight tooth and nail for not just North Preston, East Preston, and Cherry Brook, from one end to the other end, bringing this community together to be an example to the rest of this country, that people from all walks of life, whether you're farming, whether you're living in public housing, or you're living in a black community, can come together and push things forward. I'm winning this next election. So just so that you know, thank you. But just so you know, the things I'm fighting for, so that I got it. These are the political platform things that you have to know without, I'm going to fight for health care. I'm going to fight for mental health. Programs for our young people so they can grow and come and give back to our community, like Denisha and Robert and so many others. Our young people are going to be my number one priority because those are your nieces, your nephews, your children. Those are the ones that are going to take care of this community when I'm walking around with my walker or my wheelchair. I want them to remember that's the guy that made opportunities for me. And lastly, I just want to give all the glory to God for me to be able to stand in front of you and to thank everybody again for coming from near and far to support this night and get this party started.
What we need. We need to be lifted up. And I know folks are keen to celebrate this amazing person who we call Colter Simmonds, but we have one last piece of business before we get to mingling and chatting and having a good time with the food. Oh yes, and I see Miss Yvonne. It's lovely to see you, Miss Yvonne. But we have one more piece of business, and I'd like to call up our provincial director, Jamie Maas.
So I recognize that it is warm in this room. I recognize that I am the one holding you back from food, so I will be very quick. But I do want to say a couple things, because I think tonight you have all been asked to come forward and help with this campaign in some way, shape, or form. And I'll be honest, part of that is also understanding that elections cost money. So I am here tonight to ask you to make a contribution to Colter's campaign in the lead up to the next election. You saw we have signs out front. Those are just a couple signs that we have. We don't have many more. We have to get more signs. We have to get more literature. We have an office coming up, and I'm going to ask everyone to make a contribution tonight. There are papers somewhere. Raise them up. And I'm going to ask you if you can. Now, I will also point out that the greatest thing about the donating to a Nova Scotia, making a contribution in Nova Scotia, is that you get 75% of your donation back at tax time. And I will ask everyone right now will you match me in making a $100 contribution to Colter Simmonds' campaign? Raise your hand if you will match me. Okay. We've got a bunch of people that have put their hands up. Keep your hands way up. I want you to think about all of the people that Colter has touched. I want you to think about all the challenges that we are facing in this province and in this community. I've had a wonderful chance of going door to door and hearing how many people are struggling to make ends meet, to be able to stay in their homes. We went door to door a couple weeks ago, right near the end of the month, and the number of people being evicted right now in this riding is staggering. We need someone who's going to stand up and fight for us. Colter is that person. The people in this room that have come together, this is an amazing crowd. I'm actually quite overwhelmed. I can understand why you were, Colter. It's wonderful. Once again, raise your hands way up. I want to make sure everybody got one. If you haven't received your pledge sheet yet, please hold it up. But this is the time, right? We actually think it could be called very soon, and this is the time to help make that change. All right, so we'll leave it at that because I know once again a lot of people want to eat. Please raise your hands. Yes.
For us, H people who keep checkbooks in our purse.
Yep.
Just Preston NDP, is that fine?
Yes. So what? That's not it. But I'll explain it. So thank you so much, Pam. You people who have checkbooks who want to write out a check, you're more than welcome to do that. You will write it out to the Nova Scotia NDP with Preston or Colter or whatever you want in the memo line. Just as long as we know, you could say by-election, and we will know that it is. Just 1 second. You just gotta go poop. That's what he said. What's that? I put him on the spot. That's it. He came up. We're here. You put Preston in writing. We also, if everyone can take a quick look at Lauren, raise your hand, Lauren. Lauren has a square. We can accept credit cards right now. You can make a contribution to Preston Riding right now to Colter's campaign. And you can also visit Colter's new website, coltersimmonds.nsndp.ca, and click the donate button, and you can do that as well.
Thank you, Jamie. And we have another, some more words of wisdom. And I see Miss Yvonne Atwell's here. So I'd like her to come on up and say a little something to CC since you're here today. Thank you.
Wow, quite a crowd. I'm sorry I didn't get here earlier, but I had a little medical problem earlier today. I didn't think I was going to make it here at all, but I'm really, really happy that I did. I'm looking at Colter. Where is he? I don't see him. Oh, there he is. I cannot believe how much you've grown over the last 2 years. It's amazing. I called you the other morning and you were sleeping because you said you were up late with the basketball folks. But incredible. I don't see any reason why you cannot take this right. You have the right attitude, you have the strength, you have the community, and you're committed. So I just want to say congratulations for stepping out again to do this. And you can only grow from here. You can only grow from here. Who knows? You may be the premier of Nova Scotia one day. I mean, who knows?
Thank you very much. So, we want to thank everyone for being a part of tonight. And our campaign is now underway. So, this is a kickoff. So, it will take all of us to elect Colter and all of us to help Colter get through this together. So, we're going to play some music. The barbecue is going and there's food and drinks. So, everyone enjoy, get to know each other, and see how we can help make this our riding again.